Happy belated Workers' Day to all the workers around the world, especially in Nigeria. We want to say Happy Workers' Day to you. Holiday is over. We have to go back to work. Welcome and thank you for joining us on Sport Pizza. Of course, you know it's where you get the absolute best in the ever exciting world of sports. My name is Brownson Uwana, your host. Now, it's no more news. Manchester in turmoil. Why? The Glazers family must go, according to fans. And also, Nigerian players in Europe are also winning their league titles. And also some league being decided in other leagues in Europe. We'll be giving you all of that and much more after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, my strike partner, Olakunle Philip, joins me. Olakunle Philip, good to have you. And it may be belated, but happy Workers' Day to you.
Yeah, happy Workers' Day to all workers and everyone. You know, we hope that we'll continue to work and make all the money. And also the fact that people are stayed back home on Workers' Day to really enjoy themselves is really good. But for some of us who are media personalities, we have to be at work and, of course, do what we know how to do best.
As a matter of fact, I spoke with someone that I'll be going to work on that Monday that was declared holiday. The person said, now they make holiday sweet. All right, let's start the show. Manchester United is on turmoil right now. What's the big story? The Glazers family must go. Now, fans has gathered outside Manchester United, and of course, burning the green and gold color, the colors of United's first shirt when they were formed as not held in 1878, and of the original anti-Glazer protest in 2010 were set off at about 2 p.m. last week Sunday. The protest follows United's decision along the 5 fellow Premier League clubs to join the European Super League. Of course, just to note that these clubs have since pulled out. But Manchester United fans, don't forget that this protest, Chelsea initiated it before the pressure came on the clubs, they pulled out. But Manchester United fans went a step further, asking the owners of the club, the Glazers family, to leave.
Yeah, I think, Brownson, you remember that you spoke about it last week. I think was one of the
last week
previous shows we had that, you know, before the decision of the the European League was made, the European Super League was made, the fans should have been carried along. And, the fans are not really happy about it. They are major stakeholders in football, whatever club and organization and all of that, because the money they make with the fans, the support they get from the fans is also something that should be respected. And the fans are really expressing their displeasure because they feel that they were not carried along, that in such a decision of that magnitude, they need also to be carried along. And that's why they're expressing their pleasure, their displeasure. And, some of the clubs, the fans are not, vocal like Manchester United. And, when you talk about the top clubs in the world, you really want to mention Manchester United in terms of the year the clubs has been established. And that is why all things must be done appropriately. By virtue of the mistake that the owner has made, talking about the Glazer family, they are saying they have to leave. And,
but Kule, I understand the fans' perspective, but business is formed to make profits. And the Glazers family thought it through and feel like the Super League is going to make them more money. I mean, you're a business. We understand the fan aspect of this one. But
saying
every business is formed to make money.
Yes, the fans are not saying they can't make money, but they are just saying, look, you took such a huge decision at the detriment of the club. If eventually the Super League sees the light of the day and the Manchester United are there, some of the glory, the sanctions they're going to get from UEFA might have an adverse effect. It might just bring the club down. You understand? So, and they feel that the most important thing is to secure silverware for the club. Some of the clubs are just after the money and all of that. But for clubs like Manchester United, they believe in silverware. They believe in having trophies, and that is why the supporters have come out to say, look, we are not happy about the way the Glazers are running the affairs of the club, particularly when the decision of the Super League was made. So they are justified. That is what I'm saying. We spoke about it before we started the show, that this is what Arsenal should have done. I mean, they should invade the pitch and express their displeasure. Do the needful, not going outside of the pitch and shout, stand croquet out. That will not do the business. Look at what Manchester United have done. They disrupted that game. You know, it's just a way to show that the fans are major stakeholders. Not only the club owners alone, not only the footballers alone, the fans should always be carried along in every decision that is taken by the club owners.
But Kule, do you think this protest in any way would make the Glazers family to rethink their position in the club?
It will make, you know, Bronson, the fans are going to be on they are going to be by I'm sure that by next season, fans will be welcomed back into they will have an opportunity to watch games. And when you are watching a game, and you know the game is being played, and the fans are shouting, the fans are disrupting. You remember that even during this protest, an important game was disrupted. The game between Liverpool and Manchester United was disrupted. And you know, once they begin to disturb the players like that, you are saying the Europeans are not. When you talk about the Americans, the what's it called now? The Glazer family are Americans, and they are people who respect. They have reputation, they have integrity. They are not. I'm sorry to say, like Africans, where you have to force and all of that before they take some decisions. So I think for the Glazers, with all this pressure that is being mounted, if it persists, it's going to have an effect, and I'm sure that they're going to sell and of course leave Manchester United.
Well, we have some money bags in Nigeria. We have some Nigerians, big boys, are also in the corridors of taking over Manchester United.
I don't think they have what it takes to. Some of them have. If you're talking about some other clubs, not Manchester United. Manchester United is a very, very huge club in terms of investment, in terms of what it entails, in terms of their what, I beg your pardon, their assets and all of that is very, very huge. Bigger than some of the clubs. Now, I'm not going to mention the names of some of the
however, some money bags in Nigeria feel they have the money to in terms of assets. See, on the rate Nigeria as more on Nigerians.
Don't Manchester United. They're talking about Arsenal. I think that the worth is around three point something billion dollars or pounds or thereabout. Manchester United, if I don't want to give the figure, but it's massive. It's massive above what is obtainable with Arsenal.
Now, away from the Manchester issue, let's talk about what's happening in Italy at this time. Now, Antonio Conte seems to have a knack for winning title. He did that in England with Chelsea, and of course, give a very good fight with Juventus last season. But this season, it seems to be the other way around, as they've been crowned champions with the Scudetto, and a very exciting one for Antonio Conte. I mean, when he came in, there were a lot of expectations. The first season, he built his team. Second season, he clinched the title.
Yes, just like you said, Bronson, I think Conte has, this flair. He has what he knows how to churn out wins and of course win titles for most of the clubs that he has coached. Just like you said, when he was in Chelsea, he did the same, and now with Inter Milan, for a league where the old ladies have been absolutely dominant for 10 seasons. 10 years. They've been winning the Scudetto, and then he came last season. They gave a fight, they gave it a shot, and that was his first season, and they almost nicked it. I think towards the latter part of the league, the season they capitulated, and the old ladies took charge, and of course they won it. But this year, from the inception, yes, it was a tough battle between Inter Milan, the winners, and of course AC Milan, and they battled it out. Consistency came to fore.
I think AC Milan handed the title to Inter because AC Milan dominated for a very long time.
And when it was expected, that's why I said consistency. Really came to fore. It helped Inter Milan in that regard. For AC Milan, they capitulated, and of course, Inter Milan kept winning. If you see the way things went down last season, I think they learned from what happened last season, and of course they were able to make the corrections this season. I'm really very happy for them. This is the first time in 10 years they're winning the Scudetto. Remember that in 10 years ago when your man Mourinho was in charge,
he was the last. Now before
he won the Scudetto,
you need to mention
he won the treble, he won the UEFA Champions League that year as well. And it was really a very glorious one for Inter Milan. Really very happy for them. We hope that, it's not, for some of us, we feel somehow that there's really no competition in Italy where you have, just Juve winning
and
the
dominating,
league, winning, you win almost all the trophies available. But right now that we have Inter Milan winning it, we hope that also next season, yes, it's going to be very massive.
I think AC Milan will make a lot of investment as well because they've seen potential in that squad.
So I think for Juve, they really need to up their game. Probably they need to talk. They've got the players, they've got what it takes. But really, in terms of coaching, that's one area that I think they found one thing. They've got an inexperienced coach, as far as I'm concerned. But wait to see how things will pan out next season.
Well, the inexperience have been able to, propel the team, and it looks most likely that they'll qualify to the Champions League after they've been absent for many years.
For Juve.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about AC Milan.
AC Milan, yeah.
Talking about Juve, I think no thanks to Pello. That's why I question the rationale given the top gun. I understand Zidane is just one of those exceptions, and this kind of coach comes 1 in 1,000. When you give a rookie and then the rookie goes on to dominate.
Pello was given the coaching role of the under-23, and he had not even started before. The coach, your man was fired, and of course, so sorry, and they brought in, the coach. Experience really matters when you talk about. When we're talking about Lampard in Chelsea, Lampard was coaching Derby County before he was brought in. But for Pello, he doesn't really have the experience. But just last week now, they won fantastic. We had Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a brace in the game. They had to come back to win that game. And for SSC Napoli, they shot themselves also in the foot by drawing. Yes, Victor Osimhen got the first goal. I think it was against Cagliari. But they took their foot off the gas pedal, allowing them to equalize. And right now, they only got 1 point from that game. I think this, with just few games to the end of the season, it might just be difficult for Napoli to qualify for the UEFA Champions League.
All the blames of Juve will be handed to one man, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. A team loses the game and the blame is on one man. I think it's really unfair for football. Now let's go straight to another club who has won their league. Ajax Amsterdam. I also think the dominance of Ajax in the Dutch league needs to be curtailed. But right now, PSV hasn't lived up to the expectations. Ajax dominance continues.
Yeah, their dominance continues. Their 35th league title. When you talk about the Dutch division, you always want to talk about Ajax of Amsterdam. From when I grew up, from when I started monitoring football and all of that, I remember back in the 90s, even I think 1995 when we had the likes of George Finidi and Kanu Nwankwo in the team that went ahead to win the UEFA Champions League and also won the league that year. I think they've been the best. PSV Eindhoven is there, VV Venlo and some of those clubs are there, but their best is not always good enough. Ajax at the end are always coming tops, and they've been absolutely dominant. So I think it's not a surprise. The surprising is when you have probably some lower teams coming, maybe Ado Den Haag and some of those clubs coming up to win the league. But for Ajax of Amsterdam, it's always expected that they win the league.
A very big congratulations to Ajax Amsterdam for clinching their 35th league title. Let's take a very quick break. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now let's talk about a Nigerian who has also won the league title for his club side. Now Peter Olayinka Slavia Prague were crowned Czech Republic champion for the third time in a row last Sunday. The most important thing in this one is the fact that we have a Nigerian in the squad who've also contributed immensely to the success of Slavia Prague this season.
Yeah, he contributed immensely, just like you said. He has 6 goals and 3 assists, and he's always in the turn of the fledge of for the defenders of the other teams. He's really very good. I think this should be their third title,
yes.
On the bounce, and that really shows. And how dominant they've been in the Czech league, and you can't take away the fact that the team also competed in the UEFA Champions League, in the UEFA Europa League, where they lost to Arsenal.
Arsenal sent them packing.
They did well in the first leg, but you know, it is coming into the second leg. They capitulated, allowing Arsenal to run riot at them. So the team is good, but for me, for our own Peter Olayinka, yes, congratulations to Sparta Prague for you know, for winning the title. But for Peter Olayinka, I think he should move to a better club, a bigger club, because you know, he has proven beyond reasonable doubts that he has what it takes to play at a bigger stage.
I think the top leagues in Europe.
Yes, I watch, you know, in the past few years, you know, you watch him against teams like Inter Milan at the point in time. I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago, where he scored a goal. You watch him a couple of times. You know, he's always in the turn of a flesh. He doesn't want to know whether the defender or, you know, whichever team is playing against are top teams. He goes out and of course gives his best. So I think such a player deserves to play in better clubs.
I'll tell you, if Peter Olayinka is good enough, club would definitely come for him. Now let's go straight to Spain. Spain seems to be very much open now for Atletico Madrid. They are still closely pursued by their city rivals, Real Madrid. Madrid also won last weekend. Atletico Madrid won. FC Barcelona also won, but it looks like it's going to be a real crunch tie. Now, the title would be for the team that wants it most, because if Atletico sleeps, Madrid wins, they go on top of the table.
Definitely none of them can afford to sleep at this time. Atletico has 76 points, while Barcelona and Real Madrid has 74 points apiece. But Bronson, I think that Barcelona shot themselves. They had a very good chance of going to the top with the game against Granada at the Camp Nou. But surprisingly, they lost by a goal to 2 in the game. So now they really have to win one of the games. A game is going to be played. The next game is going to be between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. I think the game is going to decide the team that will eventually win the league, because that very period we're going to be having Real Madrid also taking on Sevilla. So those games,
the top 4 playing themselves.
It's going to be very, very massive. So Barcelona must ensure that they beat Atletico Madrid in the game. If they're able to beat them, they go top. If the game ends in a stalemate, it's very disadvantage for.
Don't wait for the outcome of the game between Sevilla and Real Madrid.
And if Real Madrid wins the game, they go top. So I think you can't really decide.
Now, what happens if Sevilla beats Madrid?
And probably Sevilla beats Madrid. I probably no. I think they both.
But really, I think Sevilla, Real Madrid, in my opinion, has not really been fantastic this season. Now, just like we've said about FC Barcelona taking their leg off the gas pedal, I think same thing happened to Atletico. Atletico had a chance to have extended their league.
They should have buried with the points.
I think sometime in February they had 3 straight draws, and that affected the outcome of the table.
Absolutely, they shot themselves in the foot, just like you said. I think they should have wrapped up, because at the point in time they were leading both teams by as many as 11, 12 points, and it was looking like if things continues this way, it was done and dusted. But just like you said, along the line, they had three straight draws on the bounce, and we had the 2 teams, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid, turning out wins, and they were able to close in the gap. And you can imagine, just 2 points, and if Barcelona had won the game against Granada, they would have toppled them. It's really very disappointing, and I think they should have themselves to blame if eventually they don't win the league.
And of course, maybe the coach also should reconsider his job, because I think
they had a very good chance.
They had a good chance to have wrapped up the league. I mean, there are lots of vacant coaches right now. Right now that could as well take the job. But let's leave football a bit and talk about Formula One. It was a big night for Lewis Hamilton. Now, we must say that this season has started on a high in Formula One. The first Formula One of the season, the first race, we saw a very different winner. And of course, Lewis Hamilton making an announcement that is still very much relevant in the industry.
Yes, the first Grand Prix was disappointing for Lewis Hamilton, but I think because for me, anytime you saw what Lewis Hamilton did last year, where he won almost all the Grand Prix available. So he was targeting 8 this year. But of course, he didn't start on a good note. He's good, he's back, and he has won his 97th Grand Prix. For Verstappen, I think he's 8 points above Verstappen right now, while Bottas occupied, the 3rd position. So I think that with the way he has started right now, is the chances of him clinching, winning as many as 8 Grand Prix is realistic.
Welcome back, and that's a Sport Pizza Play of the Week, and also the wrap of the show today. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Now, don't forget to go to our social media platforms at this time, follow us, like us, and drop your comments. We'll be so glad to hear from you. Also, go to our YouTube channel. Yeah, that's it right now on your screen. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all our content. Olakule Philip, thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Yeah, Bronson Iwana, it's always my pleasure to be here, and we hope that then when we return next week, the date and the venue of the bout between Fury and, of course, Anthony Joshua will have been announced. I'm really looking forward to that bout, and I'm hopeful that Ahmad will do the needful against Tyson Fury.
I must tell you, Kunle, as far as that bout is concerned, I will be sitting on the fence. I'm not going to stick my money anywhere. Fence will be good enough. Now, that's a wrap on the show today. Don't forget to join us again next week. I'll be giving you fresh content like we do week in, week out. My name is Bronson Uwana. Enjoy the rest of your day.